Today I want to talk about Bryce Young and what his flip commitment from USC to Alabama means for Oklahoma college football in general and all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today, I want to talk about Bryce Young. I've been waiting to do this segment until I get my thoughts situated on it, and I had a couple of other things that I wanted to get to first, but time is now. Here's the thing. Bryce Young could start at Alabama next year. And I know Bama fans are like, yo, man, have you been watching Mac Jones at all? Yeah, I've seen him. He's all right. He's pretty good. He'll be a redshirt junior. Might be the starter next year. I don't believe Tua Tagovailoa is the answer. I've seen that dude play. He's going to have to grow a little bit more. I didn't see what I need to see from arm strength point. Paul Tyson, I know, is there. But what we have seen in college football this year is that if you can play, you will play. Bo Nix at Auburn, not great, but they're undefeated, and they beat, a couple top 25 opponents. You can look at Jaden Daniels at Arizona State. He's been pretty decent. Max Duggan at TCU won the job away from a grad transfer in Alex Delton. You can continue to look around. Sam Howell at North Carolina. We're entering this phase in college football where the Trevor Lawrence experience is what everybody seems to be chasing, and college football is as much about copycats as it is about anything else. And Bryce Young flipping his commitment to Alabama also signals that you would expect that dude to be in the mix next year, if not the guy next year, depending on what he's capable of doing. Steve Sarkisian wanted him in the worst way and apparently took the trip for the Southern Miss game. It was enough to get him over the top and get him committed to Alabama. Now, that is surprising to me for a number of different reasons. The first one is Bryce Young has been committed for over a year to USC. And the second was he stayed committed after they had an abysmal season. They fired the offensive coordinator that recruited him, and they went through the Cliff Kingsbury phase. They got in Graham Harrell, and the recruiting class around him never really was going to be anything at all. And he stayed, right? He stayed committed through the spring, stayed committed through the summer. But apparently, even after USC goes and drops Utah in stunning fashion, that's a top 10 opponent last Friday night, he's like, nah, I'm out. I'm done. And I thought this was also interesting because, if nothing else, we've seen USC quarterbacks drop like flies. JT Daniels, Keaton Slovis, and now Matt Fink is apparently running an air raid scheme where I think he's going to get a rude awakening from Washington. Utah had never seen that dude before, and Utah had always struggled against the air raid, and their defensive back groups are absolutely just bad. Though I think they're still going to have an opportunity to compete, though USC might actually win the Pac-12 South. I don't know. We'll have to see. But this is a blow for a recruiting class that is now ranked 62nd. Perspective, UCF is ranked like 56, right? This is not a good look for USC by any means. Even when you got Chris Steele out there starting, even when you got Brew McCoy, who apparently will get better sooner rather than later, but Mike Pittman out there is a dude, right? And we know Amon-Ra St. Brown, and we can keep going about what they have or don't have. But in Alabama, I'm really interested to see if Nick Saban gives this dude an opportunity to start as a true freshman in the way that he did with another quarterback, Jalen Hurts, right? So it's there if you want. And if Tua Tagovailoa enters the NFL draft next year like many of us think he will, that's what it is. And I don't think that Bryce Young is flipping his commitment unless he knows something about what's going to happen in that quarterback room next year, because he didn't want to come anywhere near Oklahoma. Matter of fact, he hasn't really had Oklahoma on his lips at all or mentioned it. And this is also particularly upsetting, I know, to OU fans, because they're like, yo, man, the last two Heisman Trophy winners, the last two number one overall picks have been quarterbacks at Oklahoma. And Lincoln Riley, by most people's accounts, is an outstanding quarterback coach, and he runs the best offense in college football. Why wouldn't this guy give Oklahoma a look? Well, Bama, apparently more appealing to him, and for that matter, so is USC. So it's really difficult to nail down what Bryce Young was thinking about, except to say he wasn't thinking about Oklahoma. And I thought USC was going to be the place that he wanted to stick, because talking to folks that are close to him, it felt like the USC alumni package, right? Where you graduate and you get a job in the LA area. You could be set up for the next 40 years, as they say, right? 40-year decision, not a 4-year decision, as the kiddos want to say. But now that we know that he's committed to Alabama, one, I don't see another flip commitment. Quarterbacks flipping commitments is rare. I mean, Sam Howell did it from Florida State to North Carolina, but that even looks like a good situation, even after they lost to Appalachian State. I didn't think that this was going to happen, but it happened, and I sure as heck don't think it's going to happen again. Although many of you might go, hey, man, maybe he would think about Oklahoma. Nah, not really, because one, Spencer Rattler is the guy, or we think he'll be the guy in 2020. Tanner Mordecai might have something to say about that. And two, Brock Vandegrift is already committed in the 2021 class. So Oklahoma fans are feeling pretty good about their quarterback situation. That said, this dude was offered by Lincoln Riley, and he was a guy that Lincoln Riley really did want. That was the guy that he had zeroed in on. And now it seems like Riley is content to put together a 2020 class without a quarterback, for which I go, hey, man, as my buddy Nick says, maybe get Gilroy Lockhart, right? But you want somebody, right? You want somebody to be in that class because injuries happen. Depth is a thing, and so is competition. You want to have guys that you know might be able to push each other in that room because it's just going to make the guys in front of them better. Now, quarterback is a different position because there's only one of them that can play at a time, and only one of them can take all the snaps, and you need them to get more reps so that you can be good, not unlike your starting five on offensive line. So, all that to say, Bryce Young might be your star freshman quarterback next year. True freshman, that is, because, Rattler's going to redshirt this year, and we'll see about what happens next year. But in this era where guys like Bryce Young could come out and play right away, I expect him to. He's got great awareness. He's a great quarterback. He understands coverages. He's coming out of one of the class programs in modern day, and obviously he's going to fit in with what Nick Saban wants to do and how they're doing it now. I mean, Tua Tagovailoa is putting up those video game numbers that everybody likes to say. I think his NCAA rating might be like 96 because I don't know about, the injury prevention aspect to him, just noticing what we've seen in the last couple of years. But that said, I think that Bryce Young is going to stay committed to Alabama, and I think that he could flourish in a system that they run next year. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, that's it for me. Doses.